What is going on, everyone, and welcome to Kart 6T3. My name is Ben. Thank you very much for stopping by. Real quick, we got to do the thing. You know the thing. If you didn't mind hitting a like on this video, that would be sweet. And if you're new here, if you didn't mind subscribing to the channel, that would be even better. I will tell you up front, this will be the last week of 2 videos a week, only because Grand Nationals happened this past weekend. That's what this video is about. And it starts my off season. I have one more race. I'm going to try and do more of the shorts, you know, to kind of supplement this not having enough. I'm stopping 2 long form videos a week, and then probably, you know, doing some short form little blurbs or, you know, something funny or this or that. Anyway, I just thought I'd let you know that Sundays will be the only day that a long form video will be coming to this channel till, I don't know, April. Somewhere in there. Anyway, 2023 UAS Grand Nationals. Oh, I'm a positive person. I really try and look at things from a positive light. The experience as a whole, for me, wasn't that great. The experience as a whole as the UAS Grand Nationals was really good. Okay, so since I am a glass half full type of dude, I really do. I really try and look at the positives and everything, even if things are going wrong and I get frustrated. Believe me, I get frustrated. If you sit back for a second and you absorb, you can be appreciative of other things that was going on. So, like I said, the event as a whole, Hunterstown, PA, the track was phenomenal. A bit more grip than I was thinking it was going to have, which caused a tight issue. But I digress. I was just, every year when I go to the Grand Nationals, I absolutely love seeing my friends. I haven't seen some of these people since last year. I haven't seen some of the people for a couple years. I saw a gentleman there and talked to briefly that I probably haven't seen in 5 years. Really good time. It is truly like one big family. I mean, we're all there for a purpose. We're all there to win the race and do good in points and this and that. But just to have that family aspect, to show up on Friday night, to drop your trailer and end up talking for 2 hours with people you haven't seen. You know, my friends from Florida and people from PA and this and that. And I just love the experience as a whole. Okay, so along with these positive things that I'm saying, my buddy Tommy Volts, he, out of the goodness of his heart, he had texted me. He says, I really don't want to drive down to Hunterstown, but if you need a hand, you know, I'm willing to do it. And I respond to him. It's fine. I'm used to racing by myself. I had my wife and my dog there. I got to spend the whole weekend with them. That was pretty cool. Norman was, moving through the pits. If you saw him on his little scooter there, his wheelchair, if you will. But Tommy ended up coming down anyway. Tommy didn't get the race at all this year, and I think he just kind of wanted to be at the track. And yes, it was a 4.5 hour trip or something like that for him. But he drove down in the morning, showed up, did the best he could to help me out. But that was basically a lost cause by that time. But we tried. We really did. It was really good to have him come down. Again, it just, as a whole, everybody that assisted and offered anything, like, hey, what's going on? I kind of apologize. When I'm running better, you can almost tell because I'm through the pits more. Obviously, I don't have to work on the kart as much. So I'm willing to go jib-jab and, catch up with people and see how they're doing, see if they need anything. But when things aren't going my way, I tend to stay, focused in my camp as I should, trying to sort out my problems. Okay, on another positive note, Mr. Evan C. Who saw this coming? I never saw this coming. Of course we saw it coming. Evan is doing an amazing job. His dad and himself at C High Performance. Congratulations. Back-to-back championships, and Evan's the first 3-time champ, I believe. He broke his own track record. He broke He broke his own track record that he set. He set it 2 weeks ago at the Prelude. He set it again in practice, and then set it again in qualifying, something like that. It's something crazy, like 8.5 or something like that. Crazy fast. So a huge shout out to Evan. Amazing job. Unfortunately, I wasn't in the A main, but I got to watch from the outside, controlled it. I won't say a lick of pressure, because Woodard, I believe that's how you say it, was there. If something had happened with lap traffic or something, he was on it. So right there, kept him honest the entire race, but never was out of control of that race. So again, congrats, Evan. What a fantastic race. Okay, now to the bad side of things. Oh. So, my wife doesn't much care for this movie, but remember the movie The Replacements with Keanu Reeves in it, and they're sitting in there in their meeting, football team, and they're talking about quicksand.
Playing, and you think everything is going fine, but then one thing goes wrong, and then another, and another, and you try to fight back, but the harder you fight, the deeper you sink.
Kind of felt like that. All right, we started off the day. Okay, I put gearing on. I put a little more gearing on than I had written down. I thought, well, I'm going to pull the engine a little harder. I want to burst off the corner. I want to make sure I have passing speed. Well, I was running went out in open practice. We had a 2-hour practice, so I went out. They had the cones out in a bigger track surface, just getting a feel for the thing, and I came back in, checked my RPM. I'm like, oh, I'm a little over geared because I was running a bigger circle. It should have been, I was like, man, I think I need to at least take off a couple teeth. So I'm going to do that. So that's really the only thing I did. The cart, being that I was running outside of the cones, it didn't handle horrible bad. Then again, very green track. It didn't have the kind of grip that it was going to have. Go ahead, drop 2 teeth off it. I had lined up everything. This is absolutely killing me. I'm looking at the cart right here. It's killing me because I've not lost a chain in a couple years at least. At least a couple years. 2-3 years? I don't know. It's been a long freaking time since I have lost a chain. So I changed gear. Everything's lined up. Had it lined up. It was a brand new chain to start the day. Go out there. Just to drop off of the grid, and ping! I popped the chain. Okay, well, that's weird. And push the thing off and get it down and get looking at it. I'm, put the chain back on. There was good tension on it. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Don't understand. I don't get what happened there. All right, so I get that, wrestled back on there, get everything. All right, check chain tension. I put, lube it up, make sure everything's fine. Double check everything. Go up for another practice session. This time they're doing 5 laps with the cones out, and then they're moving the cones in. This is the better, prep the track for a nice wide surface. So we run the first 5 laps, and I had run like a terrible, 10-2, 10-3 time with the cones out the first time. Well, this time, the cones are out, and I ran like a 10 flat. Still nothing to do with there. We're talking about, what it took to make the A main was a 9 flat. So I'm full second off the pace, but the cones are out. As soon as they move the cones in, they wave the green for that. I come out, I sing it down into 3, come out of 4. It feels a little tight. I'm like, all right, something I'm going to have to be adjusting on. And the cart lost it in 1 and 2. I went to evade. I may have clipped them a little bit. Well, it put me into the poop. And into all the stuff on the outside berm, and I got stuck in the mud. All right, well, I get out of the cart, keep it running, get it back on the thing. As soon as I hit the gas to get going, ping, off comes the chain again. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So I take the cart and I push it up to the grid, get it back to the pits. I'm like, all right, we're not messing around here. That's twice I've lost a chain, even though it was a brand new chain. I get a brand new chain out of the toolbox. brand new gear because we're not messing with that either. Put a brand new gear on it, brand new chain, line everything up again. Everything looks good, rotating. My chain videos, tension's good, everything looks good. No rubbing side to side, cool. Go out, run final practice, no issues. Finally get down, I think I turned a 9.4. Now mind you, my track time has been nil. I haven't had any time to adjust on the chassis. I haven't had any time to think about tires. I'm just trying to get some laps in on this track. I run a 9.4, 0.6 of a second faster than I ran before, even though the cones were out. 0.6, okay, hey, that'll do for now. They went with my old time. Puts me at the beginning of qualifying. That's fine. I run a 9.3, I think. Extremely tight. These are two of the things I want to talk about that I felt while I was still able to drive the kart, we'll say. Two things that occurred, this experience I felt during that final practice was I was getting front end chatter entering the corner. Now, I don't think I've ever experienced this. I would come off it. It was only coming into 3 that it would do it. So I would come off of 2. I'd come out and I'm taking the arc, and as the front end starts to stammer as I'm turning into the corner. I'm like, ooh, it's too much rear weight. Not enough, not enough nose percent? Not enough rear stagger. All these things are, bouncing through my head. I've never had the front end chatter going into a turn before. I'm like, all right, well, this is something new, huh? Get that done. Sorry, this is long-winded. But get that done. All right, I got to race my way in. We're going into the heat race, and it was beyond tight. Now, this is how tight it was. That front end chatter was slightly there, not as bad. I had increased rear stagger. I thought that would help. I would get down in the turn, and it didn't want to make that final cut, that center. I should have had more rear stagger in it, but I believe it was so tight that my steering would go loose because I was shoving. The rear end was pushing the front tire so hard that my steering became loose as I was exiting the turn. So it was actually, I was like, oh, it turns now. Well, it doesn't turn. It was just that I was relying on the rear end stagger to finalize that push out of the corner. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, is what it is. I ran a good enough position to put me in the B main. I didn't have to run the C main. Cool. Tommy and I go to work. I put some real stagger in the rear. I'm like, this thing is going to turn this time. We make a front end adjustment. Cool. We're going into the B main. I'm going to race my way in. They're taking the top 4 or whatever. I'm racing my way into the A main. This is how it's going to be. Fire up. Ready to go. Fist bump, Tommy. Sweet. Let's roll. Off the concrete onto the track surface. I'm like, all right, I'm lining up 9th here. I got to get up to 4th. I touch the gas, pop the chain. Now, mind you, this is the brand new gear that I put on previous to the last chance practice and qualifying and the heat race. Brand spanking new, no issues. On the straightaway, no bumps, no nothing. Pop the chain. I don't know. I get it home. I tear it apart. Everything lines up. I have like a piece of angle iron, and I put it down, and it is hitting completely flush. My clutch is lined up with my rear gear. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't understand what happened, why. It was like quicksand. No matter how hard I fought, I was being pulled further and further in. Did I get frustrated? I may have kicked a tire. I may have been mad. But usually my little fits, if you want to call them, if I do get that angry, I try and fight back. I try not to do that. I try not to be that person, that comes unglued at the track. But when you've experienced all that I had, when the chain popped after the main, I may have been a little upset. Anyway, that's as far as that goes. That was my experience at the 2023 Grand Nationals. All in all, great experience. I can't take away from the event because of my personal performance. Sometimes sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield, and there's no matter what you try and do, it's really hard to fight that. Okay, so how'd you like all that? I was talking so much, my throat got real dry. I had to take a pause there. Anyway, like I said, all in all, great experience. I love going to the Grand Nationals. I love the experience. I love going up against the best of the best. I think that I don't think that I had the speed for the leaders. I think I could have had enough speed to make the A main, as I did in 2018 at this very same race, if things hadn't come apart so soon. When it's unfortunate, but when it starts to snowball, it really does. This kind of goes wrong. Then you get behind on adjustments. You get behind on tires. There was another thing I guess I didn't mention was I had mounted up all these Maxxis, and I'm no Maxxis guru by any means, but they literally all the right sides all mounted up small. I grew a whole bunch of them. I heated them. I shocked them. I got them to where my staggers were looking good. I wanted like an 1 3/8 minimum in some sets for the rear stagger, if not a little bit more. I pulled those things out of the trailer, which they hadn't gone in till like a week before. I just put them in there somewhere to store. I don't know if it was the heat in the trailer, what happened, but I had numerous right side tires that were 33.5, 33 3/4, maybe 33 7/8, where I had set a bunch of them at 34 1/8, 34 1/4. I had really grown them. I tried to get some size there, so I had staggers to play with. That just went off the rails. So I think it was an uphill battle to start with. It's not hard to, it's more difficult to overcome that, but I think I could have come up with some staggers to make it work, and which I ended up doing by the end of the day. But it was just, oh my goodness, one of the Grand Nationals that I don't want to forget it, but just we're gonna put it in the back of my mind and go, whew, let's try to resolve those problems before we go back and do that again. So next year, Tucson, Arizona, it's probably a fat chance that I'm going. It's like a 33-hour pull from here to Tucson, Arizona, unless I were by chance to ship a cart out, and I don't have the finances for that. So that's not happening. Anyway, good luck to my competitors next year. I will be watching. Hopefully Dirt 360 TV will be covering that. I'll try and link down below the Grand Nationals. I mean, it's a whole long thing, but they did a Facebook live stream of the whole event. So if you're curious about what that looked like, we're going to put that on there. But anyway, if you noticed, I didn't put up my GoPro footage like I normally would right away, and there's a reason for that, is because there was very little of it, because everything was just short little clips of me failing miserably at my job. Anyway, guys, I really do appreciate you coming by, and hopefully I can get this edited up with some footage and what have you, kind of interspliced. I think I can. I hope I did a good job doing that. So we'll see you Sunday for another video. All right, guys. Catch you later.